guys, it's only because I was just looking at and reading up something. So I was just looking at England managers and sort of their histories, etc. I told you I'm just a blasted anorak when it comes to football. I love it. But so my thought was post-war managers. Who was your best? I say post-war because I don't go back much further. I wasn't born before the war. Don't get me wrong. But of course, I remember Winterbottom, who was I had to look it up 1946 to 63. So I remember him as a manager. So I'd just like to know who are your best 5 managers, or a top 5. And the reason I say top 5 is I found it difficult, to sort of make a decision between 3, 4 and 5, but very quickly. So I'll go through them for you. There's about 15, I can't remember, and it goes Winterbottom, Ramsey, Alf of course, Mercer, Revie, Ron Greenwood, Bobby Robson, Graham Taylor, Venables, Hoddle, Howard Wilkinson, Keegan Taylor, Ericsson, McLaren, Capello, Stuart Pearce for just an interim period, Hodgson, Allardyce and Southgate. Who are your top 5? Who do you think were your best 5? Mine are, but the thing is, the problem being is Alf Ramsey won the World Cup, so you can't deny him the top spot. He wasn't my type of manager, and the generation even before mine. But so I've got to put him as number 1. He won us the World Cup and got us to the semi-final of 1970 World Cup as well. We should have won that. He made massive bad cock up there. I even remember it to this day. He took Bobby Charlton off in the midfield. I can't remember how long to go. 20 minutes. We were winning, England winning, beating the Germans in the semi-final, and he took Bobby Charlton off, I think, to save him for the final. And it just changed the game. The Germans got a goal back, and before you know it, bam wham, thank you Sam, they bloody beat us. And reading Franz Beckenbauer, who played sort of, he played the sort of sweeper role, centre half role. He was put in to sort of try and, he was their captain, to nullify Bobby Charlton because he was just energetic. And he said as soon as Bobby Charlton went off, it meant he could move, further forward. Alf Ramsey, I think, but you can all say that after the event. You can all say it. My top 5, I've got to put Alf Ramsey in, and then after that, I've got, I like Venables. I thought he's a brilliant tactician. He's my number 2. I think he came number 2, and then after that is Robson and Hoddle. I know none of you would like, a lot of people go Hoddle, but honestly, I think great strategist. I think he was brilliant, and Bobby Robson I think was brilliant. And then I put for number 5, because I thought I'd go to number 5. Shame he didn't last. Keegan. I just thought Keegan had the love of England in his veins. You could feel his happiness. So they're my top 5. I'm not going to ask you who's the worst 5 because it's not fair. Some of them are still living. It would be awful if some of you said the worst ever. But I'm going to tell you my worst, and only one. And the only reason I say it, not because he wasn't a brilliant manager, he was a fantastic manager. But for England, what he did was awful, and that was Don Revie. So we're talking England. So Leeds fans, don't get all upset with me, because he was maybe a greatest ever manager and a great manager. But when he became the England manager, what he did there was awful. And for any of those that like a bit of football memorabilia, there you go. There's my sort of England photographs of England managers, Bobby Robson and Glenn Hoddle. Both signed by them. It's lovely. It's lovely. I need to reframe that, really, don't I? But so some memorabilia as well as, come on, who are your top 5 England managers, post-war? Okay, give us your worst, but don't make it too rude, because it's not fair. Some of these blokes are getting on a bit, and it'd be horrible if somebody came in, because I've great respect for Roy Hodgson, by the way. If somebody came in and started slagging him off and saying harsh things about him, I wouldn't want to see that. I don't think it's right, because he's done his best job. Respect the man. He's a nice person. So let's try and keep some of these comments, if you can please, a little bit low key, just for your worst manager ever. Be some interest there. Go on. Anyway, Football Chat Uncensored, Reno talking. I found it interesting going through it all, and I read bits and pieces, but the bit about Bobby Charlton just came to me just then. It's 1970. I know it sounds a long way, some of you weren't even bloody born, but honestly it was like yesterday watching that happen. So disappointing. Thought we'd get into the World Cup final, second time in a row. Oh dear, I think we might have won it as well. Honestly do, we had a great team. I think the other thing that went wrong, I think we had Peter Bonetti in goal. Yeah, Peter Bonetti was in goal. Gordon Banks was injured, and everyone sort of slagged Bonetti off. It was that year, but I don't think it was really his fault. I don't think he could have stopped. I think maybe one of them he might have done better with one of the goals, but I don't think it was really his fault. Anyway, there you go. Football Chat Uncensored. Reno talking.